of Valorant.
Death is like the
Break
wind.
the limits!
This is going to be your game-ending push. One way or the Angle going to come in. Here comes your initiation. There is
Rosa tossing in the hot hand. The Hanzi is awake for him now, but Corey's in the first two showers does find one. Can he use anything?
Mayroon kayo dahil sa magagawa lang sa pinagkakaikutan na sila. Pero ayaw nagkakamili pa ng mga item for 9 seconds para lunox dito. Green!
Carl TC, mahuhuli na nga kaya. Double kill dito. Si NJ, Carl TC na ang kanyang isusunod. Kaya ba? Nako, may savage yata tayo dito naman.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, to our charity stream for MU Relief to support victims of Typhoon Ulysses. We will be playing 3 games today, League of Legends, Mobile Legends, and Valorant. For League, we will be accompanying you today. I am Marian, and here's my fellow shoutcaster, Archon.
And for the League of Legends first match, we are gonna be looking at JBS versus Dog.
And again, if some of our viewers would like to donate to MU Relief as well, portals for donations are in the bottom right side of the screen.
And also, if you want to be a part of the action, don't forget to register at tinyurl.com/siklaban. Again, that's tinyurl.com/siklaban.
Okay, now Archon. The two teams right now, JBS versus Dog. Give me a prediction.
I mean, to be honest, the only team I've witnessed so far among these two is the JBS team. They have been part of our previous exhibition match for League, and I see that they have coordination on the map, especially with some of their power picks. I'm not gonna mention those. Viewers just, it's so good. They try to communicate a lot in their matches, and they flow together so well. So I want to see that in this game as well. But then again, we have yet to see this Dog squad, and I feel like they could still be in contention for this game. We would look to see very good interactions with these two teams. Now we are fresh into the Champ Select.
Now, another thing I would like to mention is this is pre-season, right? So, there are a lot of changes, especially coming from Season 10. Maybe they would have an Amumu Sunfire cape or another build that's very crazy and we haven't seen before, which could throw a curveball into this game.
As you were saying,
for that.
yes. Look at these first two bans. You already know these are two of the most powerful picks in Season 11. Teemo being banned by JBS, that has a strong power in dueling in side lanes. You could just stay in side lanes uncontested because of the movement speed that you get from items in this game. Cosmic Focus, Luden's Echo, you're free to just split push your way through everything. And now this Amumu ban from Dog is another powerful pick in this preseason. If you played Season 11, you know this guy can just be on your face and you're gonna be dead. You're an ADC, you can't kill him. You're a tank, you can't kill him. And you still die.
We've seen it before. We've seen the clips, just Amumu soloing Baron, just making the enemy team's lives miserable because of the Sunfire and because of the percent damage that he takes. And even though he is a tank, he deals so much damage. And
so
that's why we're
annoying.
seeing the ban. Honestly.
And we see two other bans, Lulu and Shen, both strong picks. And we see a Samira and Lee Sin ban as well, which are also strong picks in the jungle and ADC respectively. Now, that was a quick pick. This is a flex for mid or top Akali. Now, I have some concerns about this. I think Akali is pretty strong right now, especially with that slight buff in the recent changes of Season 11. But I haven't really been in action with Akali yet. I haven't tested her out. But it seems like people in the scene in Korea have been building already for this Akali. You have Proto Belt and you have Riftmaker. You have the flexibility to build depending on your situation.
Oh, now Ari and the Philios. And we coming in for Dog. Aphelios, I personally think is actually a good ADC, even with all the nerfs because of Immortal Shield Bow. It's just such a good item on Aphelios. It would remain to be seen if this Jin pick from Jibus could counter it.
Yeah, I'm not familiar about the Jin and Aphelios matchup right now, but what I can say with utmost confidence is Jin is a strong ADC. Jin, if you build Eclipse, if you build Collector, both are strong crit lethality options for this Jin. The fact that Season 11 has given Jin an option to build both at the same time, which is favorable for Jin, since lethality and crit scale very well into his damage and kit, will see that this Jin can actually just ram down the team of Dog if not taken care of.
Ooh, now Dog going for the support pick now. Bot they choose to lock in bot lane at the first phase of this draft while Jibus has locked in their jungler. So what do you think should be the bans here?
I feel like Dog should ban out some of the strong supports that can get Jin scot free. For example, I want to see something like the Janna, the something that can stop and engage from Leona, because Janna has Monsoon, but I don't really know if that's a direct counter, especially in season 11. But if you have those kinds of supportive picks onto this Jiba squad, then that could be a total problem for Dog.
That's true. And if you can tell, there's a lot of question mark things here because it's been a week
Mm,
in preseason
it's
and
been a week of preseason and we don't really know anything yet.
we're just speculating here what the meta is. But you have seen multiple metas starting to evolve, the tank metas and the assassin metas,
Yep.
and we're like a lot of question marks here because we don't know. Honestly, we don't know half of the things that we're talking about.
But we know that Ornn is still a pretty strong top laner. They banned that because Jeebus hasn't picked their top lane yet, and I think they want to have an advantage in that lane as well. And we've talked about a strong support for the side of Jeebus since they haven't locked it in yet. Bard definitely counts as one of those. So we're gonna be waiting to see what these two teams lock into. And there's also excitement on what they're actually gonna build because we're still not familiar with the items ourselves. But we see a
Okay,
Graves
now
lock-in
the
for
Graves
Dog.
lock-in coming in for Dog. What do you think would be the matchup between Jarvan and Graves? Where would they want to play for?
I think Jarvan is a very strong early lane ganker, so Jarvan should try to snowball every lead that he can, especially early game. If you get level 3, you already have a lot of ganking potential for mid, top, even support, and even bot I meant. And you see that the support pick is Morgana. That's one of the supports that you can pick to give safety to your Jhin. You have spell shield and you have a bind. So I want to see this bot lane interaction. I think it's a bit favored onto the Jeebus side, actually, especially in the
Huh?
power of Chin.
Oh,
But
it's a Morgana mid.
this is surprising. This is
Huh?
quite surprising. It's an Alistair support and a Morgana mid. Never mind a supportive support. This Jeeba squad actually picked an engaged one, which is interesting to say the least, because Alistar is pretty strong when it comes to fighting against engaged supports. Because if Leona engages onto Jhin, you can just headbutt and probably pulverize onto tower. Or if Leona engages onto Alistar, you have a cleanse as well. So we've also seen the Morgana mid actually from the side of Jeebus working
Mhm.
against the detective's LeBlanc pick last time, but now it's against an Ori. I
I
mean, the
remember they
interaction
lost
between
that
the two
game.
champs are still pretty consistent. You still have a CC in the form of charm, and you
Hmm.
still have the damage in the form of the other stuff, as well as dashes. So I want to see if this Morgana pick is actually going to be able to counter this Ari matchup.
Okay, so let's go through these matchups one by one, right? We're assuming that it's an Aatrox versus an Akali.
Mhm.
Is the Aatrox a good pick? Because I haven't really seen him that much anymore.
Yeah, same. Actually, When I've tried them once, Aatrox is pretty strong. You have Eclipse and you build some kind of bruisery type of build. You could go Sterax and Death Dance after Eclipse, which is a pretty strong build because you get tankiness and you get the damage. You have the lethality in Eclipse and you have the shield as well. But in a matchup against Akali, I think Akali wins or is favored in this lane quite a bit because Akali has Shroud and Akali can just weave out of the abilities of Aatrox, which will deny a lot of the power of this Aatrox.
Now, going through the jungle, you've already said earlier, Jarvan, with those early gang potentials, could possibly help Akali in
Yep.
trying to snowball the lead in the
Akali
top
and
lane, or maybe,
Morgana.
yeah, or Morgana as well. And James would just look to, I don't know, farm his way through it. Maybe look
Yep.
some.
Scale a bit to some kind of mid game type of skirmishes.
So yeah, there is that window where JBS can actually try to capitalize on their lead in the early game, and then
Yep.
try to hold their positions in the mid game as well.
Yep.
Now, looking at this mid game, in this mid lane, Ari versus Morgana, what
I'm
gives?
not familiar with this, but if you compare Ori, I mean, yeah, they're pretty similar. Ori and LeBlanc, I meant, and Morgana does counter LeBlanc very hard, so I think Morgana can actually counter Ori as well. But you need to be very very skillful when it comes to your black shield. You can't be baited by any Qs, any Rs, any Ws. You need to
Mhm.
make sure that you spell shield the E, and you need to make sure that your roots and stuns actually land. And that's actually not the thing that Morgana's trying to do for herself, but for the 2v2 in mid. Because Morgana isn't really someone that has a lot of kill potential against your laner. You're mostly a supportive lane, so you want to be fighting those 2v2s with your Jarvan, or maybe even have your Alistar gank onto your lane and try to give pressure onto this Ahri and open a lot of potentials for objective control for this Jiba squad.
Okay, now let's move on to the bot lane. Jaina Felios, Alistar Leona, both of them being engaged supports.
Hmm.
Would they try to engage in the early game because of those supports, or what should their plan be here?
I think when it comes to the early laning phase, early stages of the laning phase, I think Leona does have a bit of more power in terms of engage than Alistar, because Alistar needs the level 3 and the level 6 in order to have a consistent way of engaging. Because if you get stuck into an engage with Alistar and you have nothing to leave out of, not unless you build phase rush, you're gonna be stuck there and you're gonna get killed by that Aphelios, especially in the early game where he has a lot of potential when it
Mhm.
comes to his guns. As well
Okay.
as Jin, though. Jin has a lot of potential when it comes to CCing. So if Alistar gets a good engage off where there's no trade off onto the opponent's side, you could have roots, you could have Qs, and you could just run around because of the movement speed that your passive also gives you.
Okay. Now, for our viewers, if you would like to donate to MU Relief for victims of Typhoon Ulysses, the portals are in the bottom left side of the screen. If you would want to register instead for the tournament, all proceeds for the tournament will go to MU Relief as well. You go to tinyurl.com/siklaban to register. And now, looking at these rune choices, not really much shenanigans. I mean,
It's pretty
all pretty
standard for both
standard.
sides, actually. One thing that I would like to point out though is again, we are not seeing the phase rush Alistar. We are seeing the aftershock Alistar. That's still a pretty solid rune, but it depends on how you play. If you play for engages and you want to be tanky when you engage, you go aftershock. But if you want to engage and be able to leave immediately, you would go phase rush. But we are now
Mhm.
heading onto the game. You're waiting for a bit of technicals. Okay, and we are now into our game. This is Jeebus versus the Dog Squad in this 5v5 exhibition match for League of Legends. Again, this is a charity stream for MU Relief. It is seen on the bottom left hand side of your screen. Those are our portals. We are now waiting for this game to unfold.
Now, looking at this as well, again, this is a best of one match. So there's no comebacks, there's no reverse sweep. It's just one match. This is
There's no
what
momentum
determines
as
it.
well. I
No
remember
momentum.
that
This is
best
it.
of three circuit. Remember, we were so hyped about it, but we are emulating that type of hype in this one series. This isn't a series, I meant this one match of League of Legends.
Now let's see if there would be any shenanigans. Both of them are in bot side river.
5 stack onto the
Oh,
bot side
what?
as a flash is
I
blown
heard the
by
flash.
Alistar. That was a flash and a half. I think
Hmm.
it's either a fat finger or a sense of confidence. And we see a chat of in time.
Yeah,
We
really,
are
in
in for
time.
a match, our viewers. We are in for a match.
Really.
Now waiting. This
Hmm.
is pretty standard. No one really invading. Early 5 stack for the Jiba squad though nothing really unfolding for that kind of play. We see Grave starting red and Jarvan start. I mean, Grave
Yeah,
starting
Jay
blue and
setting blue.
Jarvan starting red. This is very interesting because this hints towards an early fight onto Scuttle of topside. It depends on what their clear is, but normally these two junglers would try to full clear bot and then full clear top and then get the Scuttle. So I really want to see an early game fight, though I think that's a bit favored onto the Jarvan though.
Now, technicals, can we get the scoreboard? We have the scoreboard, so we have more to discuss as well. Okay. So, most of them went pretty... Oh, the Dark Seal coming in from the Akali.
I'm not
Okay.
familiar about that anymore. I normally just see Doran's Ring or Doran's Shield for Akali. But I guess we'll see that here.
Oh, okay. So, Aatrox already choking some damage onto the Akali, even with the disadvantage in level.
However, that was a good trade back by the Akali and Aatrox. Now pretty even in terms of health. Though I think that's a 2 pot advantage on the side of Akali.
Okay. So the Drake, I want to focus our attention to the Drake now. It is Mountain Dragon. So what should be the priorities of the junglers here?
I think that Graves isn't really someone that goes for early Drakes. Like again, we've said that in the previous exhibition match. Graves tries to tend to try and just get to mid game, have his items, and be able to skirmish very well into the mid game. I think that this dog squad should just give up early Drakes and try to scale a bit so that when it comes to the late game, when it comes to a 2 Drake deficit, in case, they could actually be able to fight. And that's what we're seeing here.
Oh, let's
A
see the
2v2
2v2 now on
skirmish.
the top lane river. Graves not gonna be hit with the binding, but Charm coming in for the Ari into the Jarvan, dealing so much damage, but the healing is there. No one gonna pop down the flash coming in from the Morgana, not gonna be able to hit any roots. Ari now running for her life. Akali, can she get this? The Charm coming in from the Ari, the flash has to be popped in order to escape the Graves though. The flash over the wall, first blood comes in for the Graves, but the Jarvan gets the Ari under tower and still also sacrifices that for his life. Graves now running down our Morgana. That is a 2-for-1 in favor of Dog Squad.
That
Dog Eat
was
World.
actually such a sad fight for the side of Gibos. They had 3 people there against Ari and Graves. Normally, if you have a Graves and you have a Morgana, you would be able to fight that off, especially with the early skirmishing power of this Jarvan. But unfortunately, the crucial skill shots like the Morgana bind did not hit, and they actually end up blowing some of their most important summoners as well as losing the fight 2v3.
Actually,
Quite
very
unfortunate
unfortunate.
for the Jiba squad.
Oh, I was mistaken. It was actually a 1-for-3. So that is
Yeah.
a huge advantage already coming in for Dog here.
Remember when I said Dog should just give up early game Drakes? Now that this Graves is 2-0, I think that they don't need to have that game plan anymore. They can shift to a more aggressive game style. They've practically reached a point where they are already outscaling this Jiba squad, no matter how strong this this jungler pick from JBS is, I think that they have the power to contest for this Drake.
Now already Jarvan, as you see, heading for the DR, though there are wards in the river that can detect that. The gank is seen from for the Ari, so Jarvan's just gonna back off.
Not much really happening onto the map other than short trades. Not really something exciting to watch, though this is quite a predicament
Oh,
for this
maybe Ari might be
Ari.
dead here. The tower just leashing the Morgana there. Great binding and
Nice
great
timing
catch.
for that Morgana. Ari overstaying for maybe, I think that was a plate, and getting rooted in the process. And that's a kill onto the Morgana. Now 2-1 for this Morgana, showing the power of this Morgana pick.
Now Jarvan could decide to go for DR. Looks like he is just gonna clear top side here. The Ari already 1-2-2 against the Morganas 2-1. Oh, meanwhile, a bot lane engage might be here. Leona trying to engage as well. Jin is so low. Exhaust popping in for the Leona. Stun does come in. Root also coming in for the Jin, but the Jin is so low. Aphelia's trying to hunt for more, but nothing's gonna be popping there. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the ult from the Aatrox gonna be popped, but the dash from the Akali solo killing the Aatrox there. Now Graves might be hunting for more. Jarvan's also trying to respond here. Ari also going to top lane. Akali is so low health. Can Graves get this? Graves does get it, and now Jarvan might be caught on a pincer here between Graves and Ari. Oh no!
Oh no, this
Oh
Graves
no!
is on to a. This Graves might be the winning person
Oh no!
for the dog side. They have such a huge advantage early already. That's a 1.5k gold lead, and most of it is funneled onto the Graves, which again, early game, normally you would want your Graves to be ahead. But in this kind of situation where your Graves is 3 kills behind and has 2 deaths over your jungler opponent, there's just no way to get back into the game. That depends on whether this Graves is actually gonna push in terms of invades onto this Jarvan. But again, this Graves has already turned the tide when it comes to this jungle matchup. You don't even have to reach mid game. You've already reached the point where you're stronger than your jungler opponent. So I want to see that from this Graves.
And that top lane fight really represents how this Graves is so fed, because Aatrox definitely overstepped there. However, just Graves going into that fight and getting the advantage there for the dog side just fed him so hard, and now Graves could just invade the jungle as much as he wants.
That's true. As well as the Drake now, that should be a priority for this jungle matchup, though a top fight is happening.
Oh, another solo kill might be happening here. Now, Akali gonna be chasing for the Aatrox. Aatrox running away for his life in the alcove. They're both low health though. Aatrox might be able to clutch this. Doesn't hit the skill shot there. Akali running into the enemy tower. Though Ari gonna
Ari
be able
and
to respond
Morgana
here.
here.
Ari gonna be trying to get this Akali. Now Morgana's also trying to chase here for the Akali. Though Aatrox does get the kill finally after the chase.
And look at this Graves. Look at this Graves.
Oh my god, that's just so much
What
damage.
was
The Jin
that?
just being a half health. No. Oh, the Alistar trying to engage, but Alistar might be caught out here. The Graves now trying to chase away the Jin. Now Jarvan 4 and Morgana trying also to respond to the Graves, but the Graves is just too strong. Alistar is also dead, and that's 2 free kills for the dog side.
This is again our point earlier. This Graves has already reached a point where he can just massacre anyone that he sees. That was a 1v2 early, and he still got to kill them. Like, there was no repercussion at all because he was just so strong and so tanky at the same time. And now he's invading the jungle.
Oh, the blasting cone gonna be popped here. Leona engaging onto the Jarvan. Jarvan is dead. The flash gonna be popped off. Solar Flare does hit, and Leona gets the kill. Meanwhile, Alistar, you're gonna be going for the comeback. Leona has to blow the flash to escape. Curtain call is dropped. Can he get this? First shot goes wide. Second shot hits the Graves. Third shot hits the Leona. And that's gonna be it.
Oh, and the fight at mid.
Oh, this might be Another fight here. The Ignite gonna be popped by the Ari. The Soul Shackles though from the Morgana. Can she get this? The Root coming from the Morgana, but they trade each other's lives.
Well played from both of them. Unfortunately, not sidestepping the crucial skill shots for both laners. Trading their lives as a top lane fight is incurring again with Akali and Aatrox.
Oh, no color casting for you. Aatrox might just be dead. The flash is gonna be blown. But that's a great solo kill from the Akali.
Okay, that's a 5-10 game we have here. I thought it was gonna be run over by this dog squad, but again, there is still some potential in terms of this game. It's still pretty tight. You see a 3k gold lead on the side of dog as well as a Drake lead, but that's not too big advantage for this Jiba squad to come back from. They can still clutch this off when they have good executions for fights.
Exactly, those good executions. You've seen the Akali in the top lane, solo killing the Morgana, trading with the Ari. Those are the fights that we need to take in order to come back from this game. So again, if they don't execute properly, Dog might just run away with this game as well.
And we see a Herald take from this Jiba squad. Nice control there. They know that Aatrox was still coming back from the death. And so they got the Herald, they got the pressure onto that objective and got them for themselves. As Akali gets this. And now another fight
Another
is
top
happening.
fight. Oh, Graves gonna be trying to gank here. Does get the kill onto the Akali. That is very unfortunate.
This Graves is just running everyone down. If you see your Graves onto your lane, the reflex that you should have is to already back off. If you have flash, blow it if you think you can get away. And if you have your Akali ult, you should really find a way to use that onto the Aatrox and actually find some kind of play on to probably back off to the opponent jungle. As Graves is now finding a gank at the bot side of the map.
Oh, let's see. The Jarvan gonna be trying to zone this Aphelios, but Aphelios does take him down now. Alice are trying to engage here as well. The Solar Flare gonna be coming in, but Morgana isn't hit. The Soul Shackles though hits two people. Leona is on the backside trying to 1v1 this Jhin. Jhin might be dead, but no. The Ahri has to flow the flash and the stopwatch in order to escape, but Leona might have to trade away for her life. Now Curtain Call gonna be dropping. Can she get the Ahri? Shots go wide and the Ahri survives with her life.
And these are the micro fights that you would want to have on the side of Gbus. If you see the Graves at top side, and if you want to have an advantage on the bottom side of the map, you have to take it whenever you see that Graves on the other side of the map. The Jarvan saw the Graves at top side. He immediately went bot and tried to get this bot lane playoff, and they did get it, and that cuts off a bit of the lead by this dog squad. Now a 3k gold lead, including a lot of plates due to that Herald from Akali. Graves is still at the top side of the map. This might be another gank onto this Akali depending on whether they think they can dive this.
Okay. So the Jibu's plan here is just to get picks without when the Graves is not there.
Yep,
You saw that
yep.
in the last team fight. Graves is not there, so they have gotten some advantages there. But the game plan for Dog should be
Oh,
stick to the Graves. Oh, the stopwatch gonna be popped there.
unfortunate. I think that was a fat finger. That was
That's
pretty
unfortunate.
tragic. That item is very crucial for Morgana because you would want to shackle and then use your stopwatch to not be killed by anyone. Quite unfortunate.
But again, going back to my point, the Graves, never mind, I cannot go back to my point. There's a 1v1 in mid lane. Social is going to be popped but not going to be able to connect. The Leona though, engaging into the Morgana and Ahri gets the kill now. Jarvan might be caught out here. Jarvan is jumping into the Ahri. Ahri is dead. Leona is the one that's caught out.
And
Rooted,
Graves is here.
stunned.
And TP.
Oh, but Graves is here. The TP going to be coming in from the Aatrox. Will they disengage? The Graves now coming in, trying to get something here. Alistar is just so tanky, just booms the Graves away. Well, then they're gonna be coming in from the Aatrox. Can Alistar tank this and try to survive the flash over the wall? But Graves does have the dash over the wall as well. Jarvan might be dead here. Now Jhin could try to respond, but the Graves is just so fed. Oh no! What are you doing? There's no tower there. Oh, there is a tower there. Okay, can they defend this? Aphelios Gonna be trying to poke up some damage, but that's gonna be the end of the play. I think.
There are 4 people on the bot side of the map. I don't think this play is ending.
Okay,
This
well,
is gonna
I'm
be a
continuing
dirty
play by play now.
3v4.
Okay, Tormented Shadow gonna be coming in for the Morgana. However, the Aphelios is popping everyone with the Inferno Mult. Aatrox is tanking the tower shots as well. That is gonna be a 1-for-1. Jin for the Aatrox, but all members of the red team are here. All members of the dog side are here. Akali's is free pushing top lane. They are gonna get the DR here. The Jibo side is not gonna try to steal it.
And Dog
And that's the
Squad
end of the
gets
play.
away with the Infernal Drake. I think that's the end of the
Okay,
play.
that's the end of the play. That was one of the
People
longest
are
plays.
backing probably. That was a dirty skirmish at the bot side of the map. That was so extended. That started from a play that Morgana tried to initiate onto the Ahri, and then both Leona going in, and then Graves and Aatrox responding, and then that just transitioned onto a marathon onto the bot lane of
Oh.
the Jiva squad.
Okay, 1v1 gonna be happening on top lane. Shroud does get pop off. Can Kali damage the Aatrox enough? The flash coming in from the Aatrox. What? Now gonna be dashing in. So much damage from the Aatrox as well. Can she get the solo kill? Graves is gonna respond here. Oh, Akali, you might be in for a world of hurt. Now Graves gonna be running in. Akali trying to escape into the alcove. But there's just no escape. The Graves gonna be smiting the Akali, and Akali is dead.
This Graves
7-0
is
Graves.
godlike. I don't know what to do about this. I think everyone at this point should prioritize this Graves. Graves is not building any kind of resistances yet. So I think at this point of the game, you have to stop it when you can. You have to
Oh,
take this
solo kill
time.
Dogo coming in the mid. Meanwhile, on the bot lane as well, Jin is just dead. That's a 1-for-1 in the mid lane and the bot lane. Ari and Jin are gonna be taking down. So that's gonna be a 1-for-1 for the Jibus and the dog side.
I remember a time when I said this game was gonna be so peaceful, so quiet, just taking objectives,
Quiet.
controlled fights, and
Yeah.
then we now
Definitely
see
quiet.
27 kills at 17 minutes for this game. This is a very exciting game for us viewers.
It's just action after action after
Right?
action. And that's what you
the
want to
lead
see,
is-
right? That's what you want to
yes,
see.
of course. But you know, there's a bit it's a bit much if there's a lot of plays happening in the map, but we now see a 4.5k gold lead for the side of Dog. They are scaling so much right now. You see a lot of their first items, their mythic items are starting to stack up now.
Okay, and if you look at the dog side, there's so much lifesteal or so much healing. Immortal Shield Bow for the Aphelios, Gore Drinker for the Graves and the Aatrox, and not a single Oblivion Orb or Executioners from the Jibo side.
Oh? Well, actually, if you think about it, it isn't just the Dog Squad and the Flash.
Okay, the Flash gonna be coming in for the Morgana, just solo killing that Ahri there. Leona gonna be trying to respond to the TP. Does come in from the Akali. Akali could try to get this Leona. Soul Shaka's gonna be coming in for the Morgana. The Leona has to flash away, but the Furious is here to save the day. 200 years, can he do it? The Severum ult does come in. The Akali dog gets both of them.
What was that?
Masterful play.
Okay, I guess Akali is pretty strong when it comes to this part of the meta. What was that? He got
Yo,
so
can we get a
spread on
replay?
the
Is there a
tower.
replay? Can
I
we?
don't think there is. Quite
But
unfortunate.
what was that?
Okay, those are the types of execution that this Jiba squad should have in terms of fight.
Oh, speaking of execution, never mind. Nothing gonna be happening there.
Oh, I just want to mention this Jin actually didn't optimize for Eclipse into Collector. He actually built Kraken Slayer, which I think
That's
is
good.
still pretty strong because you have on hit onto your third basic attack, and I think people have been saying that the passive thing that it gives is pretty strong on Jin. So I haven't really seen that yet. I've seen more Eclipses than I've seen Kraken Slayers. So We are in to know from this
My
game.
God, almost hitting.
This Morgana's scary. So aggressive. You see so many flash cues blowing onto this Morgana, some hitting, some not. But the hits that she has had has
Yeah.
actually created such a nuisance for
Oh
this
no,
dog squad.
Morgana might be dead though, nearsighted. The Graves is gonna be trying to run it down. The binding does come in from the Morgana. The Graves might be dead. Severin coming in for Aphelios. Aphelios so much damage. The Soul Chakra is gonna be connecting. The stopwatch also connects. Nothing gonna be stunned there. But Ari shuts down the Morgana. Leona is all dead by the Akali. And it's gonna be a
Two
two
for
for
one.
one in the mid lane.
That was unfortunate for the Jiba squad. They shouldn't have started that fight early. I saw Akali and the bot lane try to respond, but they were pretty far from the rest of the team, so they got picked off before they can even respond. Akali just tried to get some kind of return by killing that Leona. So the lead is now increasing. Actually, no, it's 3.5k now, but they have advantage onto this Drake.
Again, credits to Jibos for keeping the gold lead close, but they are down 3 DRs. Can they steal this? They cannot. And
That's
it's an
so cool.
ocean. It's an ocean soul. Remember, it's an Aatrox, Graves, and Aphelios. Aphelios has like lifesteal for days, and Aatrox and Graves have Gore Drinker. So
I need to see executioners here. I need to see grievous wounds like immediately.
no Grievous ones anywhere. Executioners
don't
or
see
Oblivion or please.
I do not see those yet. I don't think they recognize the threat yet, though I think they're gonna be recognizing
Oh.
it sometime soon.
Leona gonna be caught out there. Unfortunate for the Leona, though they did get the pop of the Herald and they destroyed the first tier tower.
As well as a pop onto the second tier tower.
Okay, now let's review the state of the game again.
Mm.
3k gold lead or 4k gold lead for Dog. And they
Yep.
have Soul Point as well. However, credits again to Jibos for keeping it close. Their execution has been the only reason why the Graves or the Dog side entirely hasn't run away with the game yet. But however, as I am saying that the Akali might get caught out here by the Graves, Graves not gonna be able to connect the collateral damage, and Akali just... Does she escape? No way. Now Aatrox and Graves gonna be running down for
there's
this
just too much
Akali.
movement
Oh,
speed.
World Ender. The flash though gonna be coming in from the Akali and the dash as well. She escapes!
That was an escape. That was an escape for sure. Akali would have misplayed if that wasn't an escape. Like, you have too many dashes. If you didn't utilize those two, you would have died, and that would have counted as a misplay. So
Even
not
so,
really.
I mean, I was amazed.
No, there was a shroud there. Like, that's what I said earlier into this game. I thought that Akali would be good onto Aatrox because you could just weave out of the abilities of Aatrox and just not be hit at all. So you would just need to run away if it's a 2v1 or engage if it's a 1v1. So I want to see this Aatrox side laning though. Both top laners are probably gonna have they're gonna have TP for Drake in 2 minutes. So that's still a pretty long
Oh.
time.
The binding gonna be connecting. But Akali gonna be going into 3 members. The Aphelios that the charm does hit the Akali. Akali might have bitten more than she could chew. But the dash is gonna save her.
And
The
the
Ari
heal!
though dashing in, but the heal. Where did the heal come from? Now the Dog is gonna be going looking for more. Leona failing the flash over the wall. And Jibos is just gonna disengage just like that.
That kill was clutch from the Jin. I thought the Kali was for sure dead, but it wasn't had by this dog squad, sadly.
Though
I
that
think
is in the expense
Leona
of the second tier
has
tower.
exhaust. She didn't.
Did
she
you see
didn't
that flash?
Pop the exhaust on which one?
The,
I didn't
Leona
see it.
tried to flash over the wall and
There
she
was
failed.
so much stuff happening that I didn't get to see the flash on Leona.
I think that's why she didn't get the exhaust there. That was actually sad from Leona.
But the Kali engaged early on though onto 3 people, and I think there was a time frame for which that Leona could have popped that exhaust, but at least nothing happened yet. and they still have full control onto the map.
Okay, now we'll be seeing another fight bot. The Charm not gonna be hitting the Jin.
Four
The Morgana
people
might be looking
both
for
sides.
something here.
4 people for
Aatrox.
both teams.
Okay.
But Graves is
Akali
not
is on
there.
top side. Akali does have the TP option for this Drake fight. Graves does not, and they are pathing towards top side. Why?
I think they're trying to ease the pressure that this Akali is giving. I think Aatrox should match this Akali push because he does have TP, and they do have wards onto the jungle of Jibos, so they might be playing for. They should be playing for pressure rather, but this Grave shouldn't be here.
Oh
You don't have
no.
TP.
Akali. Akali, can she escape again? Can she
I
do
think
it? Let's
she's
see
out.
it.
Yup, she's out.
Okay.
And this is why you shouldn't prioritize kills on the side lanes. You really want to just ease the pressure of this Akali because Akali with ult is just either a free engage and maybe a kill or a free out. Like you have Shroud, you have ult, and now there's a bit of a man advantage on the Jiba side for this Drake fight in bot side. It's an Ocean Drake and potentially a Soul if
I
this
think
dog
it's
squad
pretty much
gets it.
over if Dog gets the Ocean Soul. No executioner still, by the way. Now they're gonna
But
be
Akali
trying to
is here
steal
on the
it.
pit.
The J-Boss is gonna start, but the charm coming in from the Ari. Morgana has to pop the Zonyas. The Shosakal isn't pop, and now the Morgana is dead. Now Jarvan's gonna be trying to lock over the backline.
Oh
Jarvan is
no.
also dead. Oh no, the Alistar also caught out there. Jin and the Kali have to run for the hills. And that is an Ocean Soul. Unless there's a miracle player, the Curtain Call gonna be dropped by the Jin. Akali may try to do something here. The Jin though gonna be caught out by the Graves, and Aphelios secures the Ocean Soul for Dog Eat World.
Oh
And they're
no.
just eating the Jibo squad at this point. 15-25 with an Ocean Soul. There's no way they lose.
That was quite unfortunate. The Morgana, I think, didn't think that there was a ward on that bush. Like, she got charmed without even having to blow the spell shield. So she just got demolished by 5 people on the Drake pit. And that just the effect of that just escalated when they had to engage or else they would lose the Drake. And now they have lost the Drake as well as a lot of kills. Now in favor of Jibos. The gold lead is now 8,000. And that's still the shutdown on Graves is still not had by this Jiba
700
squad.
gold.
It's 10-0-7 and he's starting to be a bit more tanky. As well as having an Ocean Soul,
Ocean
which
Soul.
is oh no.
Again, no executioners or Oblivion Orb to be seen here.
we need I think we need it. We need it now. Oh no.
Only Morgana has the Ignite. Please, somebody, anybody, please buy Grievous Woods. You can't win this fight without nerfing the healing of Dog. I've been telling this for the entire game.
Chill. I think it's a bit it's a bit not even a bit. Actually it's a major mistake, but they have to notice this sometime soon or else I think they're just gonna be losing every fight.
Actually, very unfortunate for this Jibo side as they are gonna be trying to push for this inhibitor. Let's see if Jibos can mount a response here. Akali not gonna be able to hit the engage. Going in back onto the Ari. Ari has to R away.
Significant damage onto the 2 inhibitors of Jibus though here. And I think they're pressuring bot. Aatrox still has TP and the Kali as well, so that's options for both of these teams here. I think it's still gonna be somehow peaceful for now. For now. Not until these two
now.
teams try to force maybe an objective onto the Baron, as well as an Elder Drake now spawning in 3 minutes.
Okay.
It's still pretty chill for now. For now, again.
Pretty chill, but I mean, if you're the Jibo side, Like, what can you do?
It's starting to feel a bit desperate, but you know, you've seen that Akali outplay a lot now. And I think that's a glimmer of hope for the Jiba squad.
A
The only
glimmer.
unfortunate thing is those are the kinds of unfortunate things that I'm talking about. You
Okay,
don't have
unfortunate
wards
things might be talked
even
about
in
here.
your jungle. And if
That
you
is
try to
sad.
even face check onto some of those bush, even that, which is close to your base, you might even be dead. But
Okay,
at this case, it's just the flash blown for the Alistar.
now they're gonna be going for the inhibitor. Let's see if what happens here. Can Jeebus defend and mount a defense against this pushed by Dog?
Akali
No
did that, and
Baron.
this is probably a 5v5.
No
So I
Baron
think it's a
for the
bit
Jeebus
late.
side. Though they are going to
Oh,
be
and the
trying to
engage.
engage the hit back from the Graves. However, Leona is in the backline. So look, they're going to be popped.
What
They're
is
just being blown
happening?
off. They're just being blown off. Dog is just healing so much. No damage being taken. They're just so tanky.
And
Five
I think
men
this
still
is game.
standing for the Dog side. And Jeebus
Oh,
just has no response and just has no answer to this play by Dog. And I think this is game end. Morgana is dead. Only Jin left alive to defend. But there's not gonna be anything here. And Dog obliterates and destroys Jibos.
very well played for this dog squad. I said that they had to get the mid game in order to win a lot of those fights. But turns out, if you have a Graves that's 2-0 at the start of the game, you can just snowball that and end at 11-0. He didn't even misplay even. I guess there was a bit of miscommunication in terms of that Drake, but they still got the execution off.
Mhm.
And they just had advantages after advantages. The Jiba squad did show a lot of attempt for good executions for fight, especially with those kinds of bot lane fight with that Jarvan. Remember when Graves was seen topside and Jarvan forced bot? But unfortunately, Jibus was just bleeding too much and didn't get to pass that big of a margin or that big of a gold lead against the dog squad, and the dog squad now turns that into a win for this exhibition match.
Very Dog getting the dub there. So now again, now again, donation links for our charities are shown right now in the screen on the bottom left, bottom right side of the screen rather. You can donate to those portals if you would like to help. If you also would like to join the tournament, go to tinyurl.com/siklaban. All proceeds from there will also be donated to charity and to Emir Leaf. So our next game will be Unos versus Lawin in Mobile Legends, shoutcasted by Kenji and Nuno. Once again, I am Orion,
And I am Archon.
and don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Okay na ba? Do we go out? Okay. Sorry for my incompetency. Yo, sorry for the incompetency. The next game would be Valorant, shoutcasted by Noir and Sticks. So, nothing in the schedule has changed. I'm just dumb. Thank you.
And welcome back to our charity stream for MU Relief. I am Styx.
And I am Noir, and we will be casting the second game of the day, a best of one Valorant matchup between JBS and Sad Boy Crew.
So we apologize for the miscommunication brought by our fellow shoutcaster Orion. He said that ML is the second game, but actually ML will come after this Valorant game. It will be shoutcasted by Kenji and Yuno.
But before that, if you wish to donate throughout the stream, our donation portal is always open, where you can directly donate to MU Relief, our beneficiary, which aims to give aid to people hit by the pandemic and the recent typhoons.
Also, if you wish to join our tournament during December, you can register at tinyurl.com/siklaban. Again, tinyurl.com/siklaban. Registration is 500 per team, and all proceeds will go to MU Relief. So we are still waiting for one of the members of our other team. But meanwhile, let's just wait for the other member.
Yeah, currently we heard that there was natural difficulties at the moment. But before that, Miggy, or should I say Tix, how do you think is your Valorant gameplay going?
Actually, to be honest, I'm not that good at Valorant.
What's
How
your
about you, Noir?
Yes. I'm still stuck at Iron 4. We're doing good at Iron 4, and this is, by the way, your Valorant Iron commentates. Tune in later.
What champ do you play in Valorant, Matthew? What's your favorite?
What's my favorite agent?
Yes.
Yeah, I really like Cypher. It's the thing with Cypher. He has tripwires which can tell people about where the enemies are. You also have cameras inside, which it's best for somebody that loses in gunfights, you know? Like, what am I supposed to do? So I just have my camera to do that for me.
Okay. So right now we are still waiting for the final member of our team. So meanwhile, we're just gonna shout out some members who is watching. Oh, shout out kay Regdi Pasupil. Shout out rin kay John Owen de Guzman. Music is so good. Okay, Matthew, right now we're still having some technical difficulties.
Mm-hmm.
So before the game starts, who do you think will win? G-Bus or Sad Boys Club?
We've seen Jeebus play many times as the detective crew just got destroyed by them, you know, by the hard carry of Solar, which was a Cypher main, I think. Then for the Sad Boy crew, we personally know them as well. I think this is going to be a really close fight since they're as far as I remember, in the rank, they should be the same rank, plat 4 and gold.
Okay, it seems like the teams have already chosen their maps. The first map that will be chosen here is Ascent. What picks do you want to see in this map, Noir?
Ascent. Okay, the thing about Ascent is, based on what I've seen from pro play, some of the teams just forfeit mid control. For example, if they're defenders, right? They honestly just forfeit mid control and focus on defending the sites. But some teams like to play very aggressive with operators on mid. But if we're talking about Ascent, I think it's going to come down to how people are going to pressure the enemy team to rotate, especially with the smokes coming from Omen.
Yeah, in this map, it is very important to control mid since map is a map since Ascent is a map where very little entrances are present. You can only do so many rotations, and so controlling the pace of the game by blocking these entrances and exits from the defenders or attackers team is very important to win a round.
Even though I think Ascent has a really, it's a map that really wants you to just shoot at each other at very far places, especially A site rafters. I'm even though that's the case, you could always go for a cheese at A wine. Just pull out the judge, nuke them if they try to rush the site. It's not that hard. It's just a matter of being patient.
Yeah, as well as in this side, I think pushing through A is easier in my opinion, since when you're in B, there's so many places where the defenders can peek out from, like Market, that one corner near Market as well as from Spawn, and the mini tent where you can close the door. There's just so many options where defenders can just hang out and kill anyone who decides to attack.
It
How about you?
honestly
What's your
comes,
opinion on that?
uh,
What's your
it
opinion
honestly just
on
comes down to
advantages per side?
yeah, when it comes to those advantages, it honestly just comes down to this. Can do you run out of smokes before you push? Because some teams just keep using their smokes to stall the enemies. But for this case, if they were to push B side, they could always smoke at the market and also the defender side spawn. So it's going to be a hard retake for the defenders since the B side is very close. It's a lot of gunfights and peeking.
Okay, so it seems like we're gonna be starting in a few seconds. All 10 members of all 10 players are now in this game. So we will be starting in a few moments. Okay, game is starting. We are now
Currently playing into Ascent.
okay,
With
we are now playing in Ascent, and we can see the champion picks from both teams. We can see that the defenders have chosen Omen immediately. And we've expected that, as we said earlier, Mateo. Noir.
When it comes to any map, Omen is just he has three smokes. Easy reposition if he gets chunked off mid or just about anywhere, honestly. And when it comes to blinds, he can also push easily.
Okay, they've also locked in Reyna
your
and Breach
agent.
for the side of the defenders. Breach is a very important utility guy when it comes to playing this game all around. He's just a very all-around champion.
Now that we're looking at all of the picks in the attacker side, we have Jet, Breach, and Jet, Breach, and Omen. These three can be possibly fatal in pushing through a site.
Oh, they've also chosen a Sage for the attacker side, a very off-meta pick, as you can say, due to
One thing
recent
with
nerfs.
one thing with Sage is that you can always stall the game if you want to. You can take fights and you can still heal off it. But now the round has started and we're currently at the buy phase.
Okay, the round starts, and looking at the team comms of both teams, which team do you think will come out victorious?
It's both teams have their For the defender side, I think that their team is pretty strong at engaging as attackers. But the thing is, they did start as defender side. So we'll see how this plays out. Killjoy can always be a good attacker defender just in case.
Revealing area.
So currently we're having technical difficulties in the stream.
Yeah, honestly. Anyways, for now, we can still talk about the remaining picks. Sova, as attacker, it's pretty strong. They could always locate where people are when they're pushing in. Raze's Boombot is still pretty strong as well.
One enemy remaining.
Okay, as we wait for our stream to pick things up, once again, looking at their team comps, which team is superior here?
For this first half, it might be best to just go. I think the attackers have the advantage here. They have a very balanced team comp too.
Yeah, they have this. They have the Sage and the Killjoy. They don't have a Sova though, but the defenders do have a Sova. So that's a very essential pick when it comes to this map. I don't know how attackers will play this out without him, but anything can happen when playing Valorant. So
Generally, in Valorant, it's not like CS:GO where everybody has the same character. And Valorant is a character system, so usually you would have like one sentinel, an entry fragger, which would be people like Breach, Phoenix, and the Reyna, and get information through Sova,
Planted.
Cypher, or even Killjoy, honestly.
I think that pick from Sage from the attackers will either be very good or very bad. If they make use of her heals and wall and slows effectively, they can win this. However, if Sage doesn't do anything, it's just gonna basically dead weight.
Yeah, with also, here's the thing. Sage got nerfed pretty hard like a few patches ago. Her wall is now really weak compared to at launch. Her healing sucks now as well. Like, at this point, you wanted healing. Why would you go for Sage? You could just go for Sky, which is she has a flash, she has a daze, and she has her ultimate, which can heal people just in time for any clutch.
So as we wait for our technical difficulties to fix itself, we're gonna be right back and we're gonna wait for the stream to pick itself up.